Hello, hello. My name is Brittany.
And I'm Kate.
And we are
The Fools.
Join us as we explore everything spiritual, astrological, and overall mystical.
Don't forget to follow your intuition, but more importantly, follow us at The Fools.
Okay, welcome back to another podcast episode of The Fools.
Welcome.
So we just did something cool, interesting experience.
Yeah, very interesting. Past life regression meditation.
Yes, he said it was also called something else, quantum meditation or something.
Oh, fuck. Quantum healing?
Quantum healing, I think he called it, because past life regression, I think is so specific. And he said a lot of times when people go into past life regression meditation, they actually end up in quantum states or different planes of existing, and time isn't really a thing there. So
yeah, I'm trying to figure out what this guy's name was right now. Sorry.
yeah, there's a new shop in Sherman Oaks in California. It's called Liberate Yourself, and it's like a crystal shop that has events, and they do things like past life regression, guided meditations, sound baths, all that type of fun stuff, which I've never done before.
Didn't get to look around the store, but it was a rock store, and I'm highly attracted to rocks, sexually and spiritually.
On all planes.
Okay, so his name is Jeroen DeWitt, and he studied with that girl he kept talking about, Dorothy?
No.
Dolores Cannon.
Yes.
Dolores Cannon.
Who, she's very well known in the spiritual community because she's one of the first people to like past life regress somebody and like document it. Because obviously that could be more. And then another book that he mentioned that I'm actually reading right now is called Many Lives, Many Masters. I can't think of the author. Something Wise, I think.
We can always get back. Put it in the show notes.
Yeah. But it's super interesting, and it kind of piqued my interest on it because I remember talking to our friend Raven, who we've mentioned before is a medium of sorts, and she was doing my astrology chart, and she was like, oh, this past life, and I was like, no, I don't really care about past lives, and she was like, that means you should probably look into them. Like, there might be a reason why, like, you're blocking it or whatever. So then I got the book Many Lives, Many Masters, and then I forced Kate to go to a regression movie.
Fun, actually. It was like a last minute thing. You texted me like, by the way, this is tonight.
I know. Well, I texted you like a month ago, and then I like forgot about it for a month, and then I was like, it's right now. It's happening.
Well, I was like, okay, let's just go and see what's up. Which it was interesting. I've been hypnotized before, and I think this was he did say it was a form of hypnotism. Mm-hmm. So I've been hypnotized before. I've done different like hypnosis meditations, none specifically for past life. So I thought that was interesting to try to tap into. But I will say I was like, about mine.
Really?
Like,
It was hard. So it was like a past life regression introduction because it was a class with other people. So he was saying like, oh, if you had a private session, we'd go way more in depth and I could talk to your higher self. But there was no one-on-one treatment during this class.
And at times it was difficult to even hear him. Mm-hmm. We were like, I was straining my ears a bit.
Yeah. We were outside in the elements. There's a grasshopper literally in my earlobe, I swear to God.
Not to mention, like, we live in LA, so it was just like, choppers, like airplanes taking off, dogs barking.
Yeah.
And when he was like, picture yourself at the traffic, like, and then you just hear a, I was like, okay, yeah.
This is pretty easy. Yeah.
Accurate.
Yeah. So it was difficult at times, but I would be interested to do it like with an actual therapist or like in a room that's quiet where I could like fully focus. But it was nice to like dip my toes.
It was nice to dip my toes. It made me revisit there was a lady who does past life hypnotism, but it's like a 3-hour session.
Yeah. I feel like I read like his profile and it said like they can go like 5 or 6 hours, and I was like, Jesus, which I'm like into, but I'm also like seems aggressive. But then
I need a snack.
I gotta take a piss.
Like, what is... seriously.
I literally pee every hour, so I'm just wondering how that works.
I guess you just don't drink water that day.
But I feel like one day I'll be really pulled to like get it done one-on-one privately. I just have a big fear of like being alone with another person like under hypnosis. But I think that's my own like trauma or something. I don't know what it is.
I think
Or it's really hard for me to let go.
Yeah.
Which
You're
I'm wondering if I have
aware.
it blocked.
Like, you can let go, but still be, like, aware of your space.
Yeah.
Like, I think, at least. I try to stay open to hypnotism. I don't know.
It's really hard for me. And he was saying, like, oh, like, everyone can be hypnotized, but some people have, like, blocks of trauma that's, like, stopping them. And I'm like, is it trauma? It's like, I wonder if my defense mechanism of, like, needing to be present and, like, in control of everything is, like, a trauma response to something that I'm not even remembering. Because it's really hard, even when I'm meditating, to, like, fully let go. But that's a personal journey. But
yeah, you're going to learn how to get out of this world.
Stuck state.
This world.
Okay.
Let's go through our notes, maybe?
Yeah, I'm excited. We literally had dinner after our past life regression session and, like, just, like, didn't talk. And we're like,
I want to know about it. I want to know what the fuck you were seeing. We haven't compared yet at all experiences. So it's interesting to do it live. That's for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do you first.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Me first. Okay. So also when you mentioned the in-between, I don't know what that is really or anything about it. But I do know when he's, like, walking us into the hypnotism, into, like, the state where you're supposed to be visualizing things. When we walk down those stairs, down that door, these are all visuals in your mind's eye. The hallway that I walked through was, like, black, glossy floor, expansive universe, lights flashing. It was just, like, I didn't want to leave that space, honestly. It was, like, so crazy and, like, out of a fucking sci-fi film. It really was like, damn, dude, this is
a sick
expansive hallway. Like, yeah, and the, like, glassy floor, so it was just, like, reflecting light being thrown around. It was probably, like, the most visually interesting thing I saw.
It's so interesting because I will preface this by saying, for me, I had to, like, force myself to stay in it and, like, not get distracted by, like, outside sources or my own discomfort in my body or stuff like that. So for my hallway, I think something I do with my mind's eye a lot is, like, take from experiences. And I'm pretty sure I was seeing, like, a hallway from Loki, like the TV show, like, in the TVA, which I'm such a fucking nerd for talking about this, but it's just, like, kind of a brownish tan walls and, like very plain, like, brown wooden doors. And I was like, damn, this goes on forever, huh? Like,
wow.
But then the door that led to the staircase was a triangle of black. I didn't have to open it. I just, like, walked through it. Amazing. And the staircase were in, like, blackness.
And I do think one thing that is fun about, like, getting walked through meditations overall is you figure out what, like, works in your own head or, like, your own visuals. You kind of start to learn your symbolic language. For instance, when he's, like, picture, like, a pyramid of light submerging over you or whatever, I'm like, I'm not a pyramid of light person. I'm a fucking orb. It's a globe for me. Like, it's just small things like things like that where I'm like, that shape doesn't necessarily resonate with me. I'm gonna go.
I actually hate pyramids.
I'm gonna go for the globe circle situation, and it's just interesting, to just, like, recognize that as you're going through it.
When it was myself before we got into past life, I kept switching back and forth between, like, bird's eye view, like, outside of my body, and then, like, through my eyes, and I was like, what do I pick? Like, I would see myself.
I felt like I was already someone else before we even walked through that hallway.
Oh.
I felt like I was already going into that memory. Because, the house that I pictured was not, like, it was some person's random house. And, okay, so I'm just going to start. After the staircase, you walk through a hallway, and then you're supposed to be in a new life, essentially. I fell out of a fucking tree.
Oh, Jesus.
I know.
Aggressive.
Well, I just, like, it was giving me very little girl vibes. Or, like, I was wearing a sleeveless dress and, like, lace-up boots. Like, It felt very old-timey. And I kind of smelled like BO. You know, like, when kids play all day? Or, like, you've just been out in the woods
just dirty.
Stuff. Yeah, you're just dirty. I, like, smelled kind of dirty, too.
You're like,
I was like, okay, I'm just, like, a little wildling child right now. Then I remember, like, my nose was cold and it was getting dark, so it was, like, time for me to go home. And I went into this old colonial home, like redwood, like red oak floors. It was actually like a pretty large home, like just from the bottom floor that I went into. And I go in the kitchen. This is just like all kind of rapidly happening as he's talking us through it. Yeah. He's like, picture a meal with someone, and all I could picture was like me stealing strawberries out of like an old-timey icebox kind of fridge situation.
Mischievous little fuck.
So I was like stealing the strawberries, and then there was like obviously like it felt like help because the house was so large. It felt like an estate or something. And then this black woman wearing an apron, she like cupped my face with her hand, and like that was the most sense of calm and comfort I felt that this little girl had. Aww. And there was just like this sense of, I didn't want to know where my dad was, and I didn't want my dad to know where I was. There was just like this real energy of like, stay unseen, stay unheard, and like life goes on a little bit easier. And so, yeah, so like my kitchen angel was like, gave me the most sense of comfort and like safety that I felt in this regression. And then I straight up, he's like, okay, now picture like an important day in your life. So then I'm just automatically transported to like a fucking ice cream social. Like nice. An old-timey one where like everyone like tried to like dress up for a dance or some situation.
So you're like teenager?
Almost, yeah, like almost preteen? Like, so I go from like this childhood into like, yeah, preteen, prepubescent, maybe like going to a dance or some situation. And then he's like flashed to another important memory, and then I'm like getting married to someone and posing for a wedding photo. And it's not me at all, dude. It was like kind of just like an average looking Midwestern
obviously
woman.
Not me.
No, but like it wasn't. It just like seemed like a very, I mean, but no. It just seemed like a very average, like hairstyle was like kind of poofy and like short, and then I'm wearing a veil, some flashing forward. I don't have like face on my husband or whatever, but then dude, I flash forward to the other important moment of my life, and I'm being fucking beaten by my husband, and I'm just like I got fucking struck down to the floor while there's like a baby crying in the background.
Oh my god.
I know, I cried. I had like a couple of tears streak down my face. And then flash forward to like you're on your fucking deathbed, and I had 3 kids and like random grandkids around me, and I was just like dying in a hospital with like, you know, those old ass syringes that they used to use. Like, I don't know, I think it was definitely someone doping me with morphine or something. Oh my god.
But you were like an older woman.
I was an older woman.
You lived a full life.
Like I lived a whole ass life, had 3 kids and random grandkids.
Wow.
It was like
that. So he really took you
journey. There. A little bit. Wow. Well, you're
tearing up now too.
I know. It was a lot, dude.
That is a lot. Getting hit is not fun. Fuck.
And then he was like, is there anyone, like, who are these people to you? And then I was like, oh, maybe my abusive husband is my abusive father.
But did you make that connection?
Yeah, like while he's talking through it, yeah. And I was like, okay.
Wow. I'm jealous. I'm like, mine was not that intense.
It was kind of a lot. And like when I
could tell when I came out of it, you were like, you had like a deer in headlights look, almost like, the fuck? And I was like,
I like had 2 tears running down my face during this, and he was like, does anyone want to share? Sometimes people get emotional, and I'm like, okay, dude, you saw my eyes leaking.
You're like, I'm not saying shit to you.
No, I just felt like I wanted to keep it close to myself. I don't know.
I want you to do more so that I can hear your stories.
Yeah, it was like a whole lifetime. It was bizarre.
Wow, I did not have that experience. I was more struggling through mine, I feel like, to stay in it.
Yeah, it was a struggle, I think.
Really?
Well, to stay in it.
Yeah. And also mine, I will say, like, I meant to ask him this, but it wasn't, when he was like, go somewhere, I would see like a picture. That's what I meant to say. And then he was like, oh, just go back to it. But I would go back to a picture. It wasn't like I was in it. Like I couldn't like 3D world, like look up to the sky and look at the sky. Or maybe it's because I wasn't fully submerged, but I would see like an image, like a flash of whatever it was. It wasn't like walk down the staircase now. It was like, this is your scene.
I will say that it didn't feel like I could look around and actively see
Stuff around you.
things around me. It
Okay.
did also feel like it was only certain images that only certain information I could even actually retain.
Super interesting. Okay, that makes me feel like
because I was not looking around and experiencing a life or anything.
Yeah.
It was just a series of small little tidbits that I've just strung together in a concise manner.
Okay, so maybe I'm just too fucking analytical all the time, and I'm I don't see a full rolling picture, motion and picture in my head.
It definitely wasn't a movie.
And then at the end he asks what did you learn in this lifetime? Did you get a message during that or no? Any
no, I was what did I learn in this
You're too busy being fucking traumatized all over again.
What the fuck did I learn in this lifetime? And I don't know, I think that there was really something there with my kitchen guardian angel that gave me the most loving, comforting feeling, and I don't exactly know what that message was, but it felt like that was the best feeling of it. And it
maybe it's to constantly be seeking people who make you feel that way.
Yeah.
Or things or experiences or that overall consuming love.
Yeah, totally.
Protection.
And don't sacrifice it, because I guess I just married my dad. I could tell as a child I didn't want to be around my dad or anything, and then I ended up marrying a fucking abusive asshole. So I guess I just learned to not sacrifice my feelings for anyone else and seek those people that do give you that feeling.
And it's harder, I feel as humans. I know they say it can be I've seen that's toxic or whatever to be oh, we're going through spiritual awakening as a society or whatever, but I'm compared to where the human race was, if you're experiencing an old lifetime, you might have not been able to even choose the man you marry. You might have been married off,
yeah, totally.
You know, for women, for people of color, for homosexuals, life was much different 15 years ago, let alone 100. So, yeah, never know.
Okay, so tell me more about you.
Okay, besides my struggling, I did, so at first when he was go through the door after, down the staircase, blah, 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 I was just in blackness, but I felt I was floating. So I was I'm just fucking in space, beep, boop, beep, beep.
That's true.
And then I was just stop thinking about the grasshopper, stop straining to hear him, strain to hear him so that you're in it. So then I was really focusing in on him. And then I was this isn't working. And then all of a sudden I got a flash of myself on top of a lighthouse.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah. And I was oh, and I was staring out at the ocean. And I was okay. And then I was okay, it's a lighthouse. I'm up tall. I can see, I look in, later on we had to go eat. And I saw the spiral staircase, in the middle of the lighthouse. And I was eating fucking porridge. Some white disgusting substance, and I was just man, this is fine, me. And I was just alone, but I remember not feeling sad that I was alone. I was at peace. I loved the ocean and I loved my job, and I was very just at peace. Yeah, I didn't need anything else.
You didn't need anyone else.
Anyway, yeah, I was whatever. And then so I got the lighthouse. I lived and worked there. Oatmeal, love the ocean. Oh, I remember he was oh, an important day in your life. The first time he said that, I remember seeing a fucking storm in the distance, a really bad storm rolling in, and I was getting anxiety. I have to warn the people, the town that my lighthouse is on, and but I didn't see myself go tell. I just knew. I was fuck, this is really bad. It's purple out there. I see the lightning from here. This is gonna fuck shit up. I felt that anxiety. So hopefully I saved the town, because I don't know why that was my important moment.
You at least warned them. I'm sure you can't do everything.
And then a second time he asked us to go to another important event. This is what was fucking weird. I was nothing else important happened in my life. I was sitting there being judging my past life as one does. He literally was don't judge yourself, don't be mean. And I'm sitting here you stupid bitch. I'm
fucking lighthouse.
But I couldn't see myself, but I was aware that my skin was tight. I was older and I'd been in the sun. I could feel that sunburny, leathery skin, and I had a fucking gut. That was a man.
Yeah,
I know I was a man, but I don't know if I had hair or beard. I just remember my skin was I was oh, fucking tight.
After years of weathering the storm near the sea.
I was like, bitch, can you find some SPF? No. Okay. So the next important event was my daughter had a baby. Oh. So I was like, so I have a daughter who's an adult daughter who has a baby, but I never was shown a wife or a lover or anything like that. But I had this daughter. And it was a quick flash, and it wasn't moving, it wasn't whatever. It was literally like, she was like another important event, and I was like sitting there waiting, and I was like, I guess the fucking waves are all I care about. And then it was just like a flash of, I didn't even see my daughters, I saw my granddaughter.
Wow.
Like, only. That's
the moment it actually mattered.
Yeah, and the weirdest part is like later on when he was like, oh, was anyone you know in that life, my mom came up for the granddaughter.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, huh. I wonder, and I know that me and my mom have lived like a lot of lives together. It's just like something we've discussed and known, but it was just like, oh yeah, my mom. Like it was just like,
oh yeah, that baby.
That baby was my mom.
I know that baby.
And then when I was brought to the day I died, I was just like by myself, and like it was like a dark room, like wooden. I think I might have been in the lighthouse. Like I don't know if I lived there as well as worked there or what. And there was like one of those old, like, you know, the candles with the twist thing on the bottom, like on my nightstand table. Yeah. And then I was just like fucking old and died by myself.
That's kind of
I hope someone found me, or else yeah, it was weird because I wasn't like sad. Like I was just like, this is my fucking job. It's the ocean. Like,
it just felt like you had a duty.
Yeah, and I was like very like content with it. Like I felt at peace with my job. And then when he asked what lesson, patience came in my head.
Oh.
Which is weird because I'm like, I felt very patient in that life and I don't feel patient in this life. So
you were just like, let the boats come when they will.
Yeah.
I'll keep beckoning them home to me.
But yeah, I liked it though. It was interesting, but it sucks because as soon as I'm pulled out of it, I'm like, was that real? Was that a past life? Like, or is my mind just making something up to like...
Yeah, I think we all really consider and wondered that. Because even that lady asked that question, I was like, well, maybe it's something I've just pictured in my mind that I want.
Yeah.
And now I'm projecting it onto this, like, meditation or past life. Because I'm pretty sure she described her dream wedding.
Yeah. She, like, literally was talking about, like, getting married. And
she was like, that's exactly what I want at my wedding. And I was like, interesting.
But he said something interesting, too, that was like, yeah, it could be, like, your future... whatever that like is just like showing you that because like that it's like gonna happen.
That you'll get it. That is an interesting point of view.
I definitely want to do more in the future. I have a problem. I need like people to like be like, you should go to this person, so it's like a credible source. Like
yeah.
But I want to try with this guy again. I mean, I saw something. Like I had some visuals.
It was like a dope meditation, and now we know what to expect with him.
Yeah,
like that. Nice. Like, it will probably be 2-hour situation instead of 1. And bring our blankets.
Yeah, it's cold.
It was outside. And just, maybe we need to practice meditating outside.
Well, I just need to get back into meditating. It's like everything comes in waves. I get really good at it, and then I won't do it for like 2 weeks. And I'm like,
yeah, I agree. And then you feel like you lose your...
strength, your connection.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so if any of you guys have tried past life regression or anything like this, leave them in the comments below of the YouTube video.
Has anyone have you ever had a psychic tell you what your past lives are?
No,
they're
not attracted to me.
Yes, they are. Oh my god.
But you know, listening, like, this lady came up to me in Sephora and she told me about a past life. Like that's something.
Okay, no, I'm like, I went to a psychic that I paid for.
Oh, no, because I have trust issues. I have the whole like. I've never paid for or seen a psychic. I've only done tarot readers.
I think that you also have to listen to your intuition with the psychics that you work with, but it is helpful to have like word of mouth. I've worked with this person. Yeah. I felt like they were good. That's basically what happened to me in Kansas when I first went. But then actually I had a friend go back to her, and she didn't seem that she predicted things that happened in this lady's life. So I don't know. I think there was maybe a shift in this lady or something, but she full on predicted some shit that happened for me, like legit. And my past lives she kind of went into, but she told me that I like lived in the Elizabethan era, that I like lived on an island, and like multiple things. It's very interesting to hear about, but I think it's interesting to go in within yourself too, to like see what you discover without someone just telling you.
Yeah, that's true.
Right off the bat, but
I want to get into it more. I'm down. I'm like really trying to trust my intuition to like guide me to like these experiences, which is fun. Do you want to pull a tarot card?
Oh yeah. Which one?
Let's do a moon.
Okay.
I guess we'll be wrapping with tarot because we just get so excited about
that
starting.
We just go and go and go, and then we're like, oh, by the way, let's pull a card.
That's fine. I don't mind it though.
Yeah.
I like it at the end.
Whatever.
And I like needed to know about your past. Like I was like, I need to know what happened to her.
I know. Well, it was like very emotional.
I know. Mine was like, I was like, God, I'm fucking boring. But like I wasn't bored there. But like me, Brittany, judging.
Lighthouse man.
I'm like, God, Lighthouse man.
Lighthouse Brittany.
Fucking loser.
Lighthouse Brittany was fucking content, okay?
She was. Okay.
What we got?
We got full moon in Sagittarius. Look at the bigger picture.
Oh.
Interesting.
Okay, what?
I feel like I'll look it up, but I feel like off the bat, I feel like, wow, how many times can I say I feel like? So I feel like that we should take this past life experience and look at the bigger picture of it, because instead of like focusing on the details of these lives, like the bigger message, like both of us don't really know why we were shown these things. Like they're very different. The thing that he said was interesting is when he does sessions with people is he can talk to your higher self. And so if you have questions like these, like he'll just ask your higher self who is more connected with like your soul contract, and it's like, no, you did this because of this. Like it's more which is interesting. Having fun, being prepared to sail to uncharted territory. That just popped out at me.
You fucking lighthouse worker?
I just need to go back to the ocean.
I know.
I am a mermaid. I'm not supposed to be here. That's what I'm.
I love that. Well, under the sea.
It's time for me to go back. Well, thanks for coming with me on this past life regression, even though I gave you 2 hours notice.
Hey, it was fun. I like to say yes to things. It was interesting. It was just the emotional journey I needed to go on from my higher self. Like, I don't know exactly what it means, but I'm gonna think on it and keep processing, because it literally happened like an hour ago.
Yeah. Okay, guys. I think that wraps up episode 3.
I think 3.
4.
Thrive.
Episode thrive, because we don't know. If you are new here or returning but have not subscribed to our YouTube channel or here on Apple iTunes or Spotify or wherever you're listening to this, just give us a follow.
Follow it, like it, subscribe it, save it.
Engage.
Download it.
Love me.
Send it to your mom.
We love her.
Ask her about her past life.
Let us know.
Seriously.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye.